Legend has it that there was a road going through our forest that was used to take the clay pots of turpentine back out, and I think we may have found it. So we're going to follow this a little bit and see what we find, and I'm going to try to find something historical. Maybe there's a map or something showing where it actually was, but to me this is the only place on the property that looks big enough to have taken an old truck through, probably between the 40s and 60s. So let's take a walk. So obviously there's been oak trees growing up over the last 60 or to 80 years. I'm thinking that that's probably part of the path, and that this tree right here is fairly new. And it looks like maybe the path circles around right here, so maybe there were trucks coming in one way and going out the other. So we're going to keep walking and see what we find. Well, it appears that the path goes in that direction, but here's a giant pine tree. I don't even know how old this thing would be, but it's probably the biggest pine tree I've ever seen. It looks really old, and it finally either got struck by lightning and fell, or it just got too old and rotten and fell. Elias, Jake, back up. Elias, walk over there just for scale. This is my teenage son. This is probably the biggest pine tree I think we've ever seen, isn't it, guys? Yeah, this thing was massive. It's a shame to see it go. Probably was the tallest tree and probably got struck by lightning. So back on the trail, what I'm noticing here is that it's still quite sandy, and the trees are over to this side and there's lots of leaves and everything. That tells me, well, it just looks like a path, and we don't drive back here at all. Gone a little farther, and I don't know if you can tell, but the path goes up and then it kind of veers off to the right a little bit. Well, here is another really old tree, and I thought maybe it had been scored, but I'm not really sure. However, looking inside this is really cool. You can see that perhaps it got struck by lightning, maybe from where there was scores on it. It does look like there were some chevron shapes here. This is all pitch. This is the sap. This is what they were after. My son uses it to make glue when he makes things. It's really ooey and gooey. But this right here is a whole bulb of it. If we were to take this and put it in a pan and put it over the fire, we would make it soft and malleable. We could add stuff to it. It looks like maybe pine beetles or something were in this, or are still in it, but I don't hear them. Normally if there's pine beetles in a tree, you can hear the little munching sounds. So let's see, there's some sap right there, and there's some. So this is pretty neat. Oh, there's some right there. It's still dripping right up in there. Okay, so I started looking at it with my eyeballs instead of through the lens of the camera, and I found the nail that would have held the pot that collects the sap. So this nail is probably 80 to 100 years old. And on top of that, once I stepped back, I saw the chevron marks right here. So this old feller definitely was a turpentine tree. So So there's history for you guys. Preserved until this tree dies completely and falls over. Here's another tree. This one definitely was hit by lightning. Even if it used to be scored for sap, it's completely burnt on the inside all the way down, and the core is gone. So I'm pretty sure this one was a lightning strike. It's hollow all the way to the ground. This is a rotten piece of tree that we have to take down right now, because when the cows are in here, they scratch on everything, and this will fall and maybe kill a calf. Yeah, this is really dangerous for a little cow. Cardio today. Oh. Heading for this tree because it looks like, you know, there's a split in it. It's probably chevroned and all that stuff. And take a look at what my son found. That is awesome. Dude, that's been there for probably 80 to 100 years. It's a hurdy pot. It's the bottom of one.